Jesus freak here. It's hard to think about the past sometimes when a lot of it, so much as you got it in your memory, you know. Memory's a weird thing, you know. You think you remember stuff and you don't always remember it right. I've remembered a lot of things that surprised people with it. Being able to point out places I hadn't been in decades. Thinking I might look into trying to save up some money. So next year, the last time I was able to take a trip out where I used to live and do some sleuthing around and stuff, it was 5 years ago, almost. It was 4 years ago. It was 2019. It's like, you know, sometimes I just like to be able to, you know, regather what I can in my memories, because, you know, I'm not getting younger. And I don't have a lot of stuff around to remind me of the past. So I'm working on, you know, my ever-fading recollections. It's like, you know, I go here sometimes, you know, do this, that. Your memories are marred when you go back and revisit them. Because the world changes around you. There's places I can swear, you know, I remember. I'm not sure they're still around. I was just, you know, thinking. I was looking at a town I used to live in, Richland, New York. I lived there for a few months back in 1992. I was really spiraling at this time. And I did some really stupid stuff. For example, stole a couple bottles of Kool-Aid out of a supermarket on Main Street. You go to Google Earth, you can still see the red and white on Street View. It looks like it hasn't been open in years. Even before that, it used to be a restaurant I went to a lot. More of a diner. A bit of a hole in the wall. I can't even find it. It's probably gone. Long gone. Like, I don't think even the building's still there anymore. And I mean, I'd like to revisit a lot more of my childhood, but it's like, you gotta be practical. From here to Oswego's 150 miles, about. It's a several hour drive. That's even if you're taking the throughway. It's hard enough to convince someone to go with you that far. I can't drive because I've got mental problems. I've mentioned this before. My brain, the wiring's not working right. But I'm not going to convince someone. I can convince someone to go to Oswego and the area, like, immediately around there. But let's say I wanted to go to Ogdensburg, which is even further up. And which also holds a lot of memories for me. Or let's say I want to go to Poughkeepsie area, Statsburg, Kingston, Silgerties, Woodstock. That holds a lot of memories for me too. It's just not practical to ask someone. It's too far. I was like, Woodstock 94 happened in a town that was more or less in my orbit at that time. I had a couple teachers that said they got in when the security failed. Same stuff, different day, just like 25 years before that. Security just wasn't good enough. And I remember in the days following Woodstock 94, remember, we're talking 1994. It was right off the thruway, the 87, in Silgerties. It wasn't actually in Woodstock, but it was right down the road from Woodstock. So it's probably closer to Woodstock than any of the other actual Woodstocks. So here I was, we were driving down, I think it was a 32, past the plaza where the Grand Union was. The Grand Union supermarket's gone now. They went out of business. But we went by Grand Union in Silgerties, and this was across from Winston's Farm, I think was called, where they held the concert. And there was a humongous pile of trash higher than the top of the building behind the supermarket. I'm like, imagine if there's that much trash there, how much trash there was on the site. Some of the weird things you remember, eh? In fact, one of my teachers at the time lived in the town of Woodstock. She had a basement apartment in Woodstock, New York. So I knew where Woodstock was. Woodstock the place. Hell, there was famous studio out there, where Meatloaf recorded Bad Out of Hell and a lot of other artists recorded stuff. It's like, I wasn't aware of it, but there's a good chance I'd know it if I saw it. because, like I said, that was my stomping grounds. Someone trying to message me on Discord. But, you know, it's like Woodstock 99 happened in Rome, New York. And I'm like, I want to forget that ever happened. Even though, Rome was one county away from where I used to live at that time. It's like, Woodstock 94 still had some of the feel of Woodstock. Woodstock 99, it was all gone. Oh, yeah. And up near Lowville, I'm not exactly sure where it was. The thing most people know about Lowville, New York, is the guy who played Charlie Bucket and Willy Wonka in the Chocolate Factory lives in Lowville. But a few miles out from Lowville was a church camp. It's called Aldersgate. I went there twice. Once between 3rd and 4th grade, once between 4th and 5th. Kind of wish I could see the place again. I don't think it's ever going to happen. The church I went to at the time isn't a church anymore. It's just a house. I used to have a picture somewhere when it was still a church but had already closed. One of my uncles is the last pastor. Takes a lot sometimes to reminisce. When your memory's all you got left. Jesus freak out.